Notice anything here? Yeah, me too. In the famous words of Doughboy, we got some kind of problem here? We got some kind of problem here, Nip? And that sparked a national conversation where some are going directly to it and most are dancing around it. So, wow, we all saw that, or we at least saw the response from that incident right there. And what is the deeper conversation? What are the layers to this? We're going to go there.
What happened at the Texas A&M South Carolina football game is unacceptable for an officer who is there to protect everyone in the stadium to walk toward those young players with that level of aggression, that level of intention, that level of purpose, and that purpose being nothing for good is something that just can't happen. And now, if you are these young men's parents, this is worst case scenario for you. This is something you've coached your kids through. You've told them how to behave. You told them what to say. You've told them how to look. And you told them all of these things just to stay alive. And so now in this situation, someone who is in that stadium to protect them is the aggressor. And here's my biggest problem with the whole thing. There was 100,000 people in the stands. There were two entire football teams on the field, and there were millions of people watching on TV. So what kind of decisions does this officer make when no one is watching, when there are no immediate consequences? And thank God that Texas A&M acted extremely quickly to at least try to rectify the situation so everyone on that football field and in those stands could feel safe. But this is a cautionary tale. This is a warning. There are those people that feel so entitled and so empowered and have that level of audacity and also intoxication on power that they believe that they're above the law. It's not just about protecting those young men on the field, which is something we have to do. It's about protecting those young people in these streets, in these schools, that just walk around in everyday life from those who don't understand the power of the badge and the responsibility of it. Thank God today worked out the way it did and we got a great SEC battle. But not every young man is so lucky.
Blah, blah, blah. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's connect. Early access, full episodes, rap, story time, Wileyisms, and support projecttransition.org below. Let's go. Okay, I'm glad Ryan Clark went there. Now, he couldn't go there like Ryan Clark wants to go there. We all know that Ryan Clark now is in the doghouse in terms of how he can approach these conversations. Yeah, after the Kyron Lacey situation and that apology, he was told, hey, bro, I don't know if you watch baseball, but they have strikes. And you close to that third one, so let's chill out. So you saw he didn't race bait like the typical Ryan Clark, but he still had the same conversation and the same talking points. I want to do it from there. Hand me the baton, Ryan Clark. I will take it there exactly because I have 4 kids, 3 daughters, 1 son. I know the conversation that my father did and didn't have with me, and I also know the conversation I've had with my kids and will have with my kids. So I want to just start off with the headline. The headline is, 1, you can't make sense out of nonsense. So what Ryan Clark really said and what people are saying online right now is that there are bad people out there and there are bad police officers out there, okay? But that's not where they're stopping. We know that. You can't make sense out of nonsense. There is love in this world, there's hate in this world, there's good in this world, and there's evil in this world. We know that, and that includes every occupation out there. But we know the real conversation, so let's have it. Police brutality, white officer, black citizens. In this case, it's a white state trooper and black players. And we saw it all play out coming out that tunnel. So let's keep walking all the way out that tunnel. All right, so I'm getting tired of them playing us. When I say us, I mean all of us, no matter what your complexion is. They playing all of us according to the data. And then it's specifically getting black people triggered to have conversations where they're dancing around or intentionally going to that place. All of that sparked by a bump by a white state trooper. Now, that white state trooper may be super racist, right? Or that white state trooper may be a super fan. And we have seen fans come out the damn stands of all colors and hues and act a fool to players. And we've also seen As we know, some of the police incidents over the years that give us that moment of thought that this moment triggered. We get it. We all know it. So let's go here. I think this is fascinating. Please watch this. So there's an organization, Campaign Zero, that tracks and maps police violence. Now, the data is different than the narrative right now. And the narrative is playing all of us against each other, and it's really triggering us black people. So I want the data to hopefully disrupt the narrative and change it to being fact-based. So let's go through some of the facts. Now, as we look at this headline, pretty disturbing. Police killed at least 1,365 people in the U.S. in 2024 alone, the deadliest year to date. Why is that disturbing? 1,365 is not the real number. It's going to go up. That's why they say at least. Some of these crimes have not been solved. The other part that's disturbing is the deadliest year to date. Now, the asterisk makes you go and figure out that, oh my goodness, last year nationally, homicides were down and violent crime was down. So that means these incidents are more volatile on non-violent incidents. Wow, that's crazy disturbing. But let's get to the other elements of this. Crazy disturbing. You're called here for something peaceful in comparison, and someone is killed by the police. There were only 10 days in 2024 when police did not kill anyone in the U.S. But here we go. That's crazy enough too, right? 355 days of the year, people getting killed by the police. But here we go. This is where they play us all, and especially trigger black people. In 2024, black people in the U.S. were 2.9 times more likely than white people to be killed by police. Now, most people stop right there. See, this is what I'm talking about. And it supports the narrative. That's why I saw what happened yesterday. The white state trooper, he bumps the black players. And what happens when he ain't there? What happens when 100,000 people ain't watching? What happens when all of us ain't paying attention, right? We run with that. But I just want to give you some facts that is interesting that will make you say, You read that narrative, you're like, what? That is too much, and that is the worst, obviously. But let's look over here. 7.6 times more likely. Who are they? Native Hawaiians and Pacific Islanders, 7.6 times more likely than white people to be killed by police. What? Almost 3 times more than black people? Let's keep going. American Indian and Alaskan Natives, 3.1 times more likely than white people to be killed by police. Now, under black people are Hispanic and Asian people. But there are 2 other ethnic groups that are more likely to be killed by the police than black people. Is that the narrative? I just asked you something simple. Is that the narrative? No. Okay, so we stop right there because why is the headline black people in the U.S. 2.9 times more likely? They're third place. You know, everybody always clowning. Why y'all talking about Shadur? He was a backup. He was a third stringer. Why y'all talking about the third stringer? Okay, why are we talking about third place in this conversation? Why are we not talking about the Hawaiians? Why are we not talking about the American Indians? Kind of weird, right? So, no, Marcel, stop playing. You know they're killing more. So you want to have a relative conversation or you want to have an absolute conversation? Okay, the relative conversation is black people are in third place, not the most likely. Other ethnic groups are. But let's have the absolute conversation. Then they don't even give you that in writing. You just got to look. Wait a minute. 326 of 40 million killed black people, okay? Wait a minute. They killing more white people. Well, there are more white people. Look at that. 543 white people killed, 326. So you got to pick your poison. I'm just talking about the narrative and getting triggered. If you're black people, you can't say we are the most likely. We're not, but that's the narrative. And if you want to say, well, they kill the most of us, they don't. They kill white people. Case dismissed in terms of the narrative being some BS, and we get triggered by it and played by it. Okay, so that conversation had to be articulated, had to be demonstrated, because our normal people who are having this conversation are not having it without bias. They're not. They're just talking about, well, I know you got to have a conversation with your son, especially if they're black. And it's like, well, especially if they're Hawaiian, especially if they're American Indian. And then you got to talk to us as well. But why do we want, or why are we the gold standard? Why are we held to the highest degree when it comes to violence? Whether we're perpetuating it or we're the ones who are being told that we're going to be the victims of it, when the data doesn't always support that. You understand that? So get out the narrative and get into the knowledge and get into the reality. When you see an incident like that yesterday, you don't have to get triggered into a racial conversation about him being some super racist. You can simply say he's a super fool and a super fan. And I've seen many types get on that field and do crazier stuff to players than what we saw yesterday. That's it. You know me. Going to come at that angle. Going to try and drive it home a different way than the typical, because who's typical around here? Show. Beat it up in the comments. Beat me up in the comments and let me know what you think. And let's talk through it. You know what we do on this show, boy. We flow, boy. But before we flow, boy, we check in on your blood flow, boy. Are you guys using VINIA? Oh, my God. What are you guys doing? Let's keep it real, family. Energy isn't about sugar or caffeine. Nah, none of that fake stuff. It's about blood flowing. When your circulation's strong, the oxygen, the nutrients, they hit your muscles, your brain and heart, and goes where it needs to go. What does that mean? More focus, more alert, and you are ready with more energy. So come on, go to VINIA.com/Marcellus. Use the discount code Marcellus10 for a 10% discount. Who's Marcellus? Me. You know your boy. 10-year NFL All-Pro baller. Had to go after it without VINIA, without this real product. Had to use that fake stuff, sugar and caffeine. Good thing is, it got me up there. Bad thing is, pow. Boy, would you crash sometimes in the middle of the game. So now, in the game of life, I have VINIA. You can too. So make sure you use VINIA in your daily routine. I don't care if you're a dad. I don't care if you're a coach or chauffeur like me. All the above. You need this to be more focused, more alert, and it helps you be on the go. So go to VINIA.com/Marcellus, Marcellus10 for the discount code, and you will get 10% off. That's VINIA.com/Marcellus. You know what we do on this show, boy. We flow, boy. Yes, we do. Oh, yes. And we keep our narratives true. Hey, you know what I mean? Spit the real to your kids, like I do. Yeah, fact-based, I don't want to hear it. Oh, they kill more black people than they do anything. No, they don't. Well, we're most likely to get killed by police. No, we not. All right, Marcellus, you know what we're trying to say. I'm going to just say it, damn it. I'm going to tell you what I want to say. You know who I want to talk to? Nick Harbor. He hit that edge like a lightning strike. Track speed on the turf. Man, that boy took flight. Phew. Ran that peel to the crib, 100 yards, no sweat. And then the A&M crowd got silent like they lost the bet. Crowd yelling, damn, like he stole their lunch. Camera flashing like a paparazzi punch. Pow. Gamecocks dancing, vibes up, feeling bold. Then here come Mr. Officer, I'm here to patrol. Trooper walked up, all stiff and tight. Bumped two black players like, y'all better act right, boy. Whole stadium watching like, bro, what was that? Even the mascot looking like he ready to scrap. Damn. And now we gotta ask that question. This real. If you do that in front of cameras, crowd, and a field, what'd he do at night? When nobody's around, when it ain't 100,000 fans or national sound. If you flexing that badge in front of SEC lights, what's he like pulling folks over the late nights? Ooh, we ain't saying they all bad, but this ain't nothing new. We seen this movie before. We know the preview. They be like, it was an accident. Stop overreacting. But history ain't history when it keeps reenacting. Nick scored 6, but the story got flipped. Cause America love ball, but not when the script include questions about power, race, and respect. That's when folks get nervous like a failed background check. Don't make it about race. They scream from the bleachers. But that badge hit different when you only see preachers. We need accountability, not just a mic check. Cause justice ain't real if it depends on who's white next. Give Nick his flowers, give the trooper a clue. This ain't the 50s, bruh. We peep what you do. Touchdowns get replayed, so do police moves. We gon' keep calling it out till the world improves. Trooper acting tough, cause he know he got backup. But if it was a pickup game, he never try to act that tough. He ain't bumping the O-line, he ain't bumping the coach, but he shoulder check a player and stay calm like a roach. Sir, I was maintaining order. Yeah, we heard that phrase. That's that same script from Rodney King in them LA days. Oh, man. Just trying to give you perspective. Just trying to help us all out.
It's been a decade plus that I knew that this day was going to come.
Oh, this is not hyperbole here.
Because I think the verse.
Time to hydrate. Hydration's the situation, so.